Well, hello everyone, this is Astocky here, and welcome to episode 37 of my Let's Play of the Astocky Pack for Minecraft 1.4.7. The pack has now updated to version 2.6, and there's been a couple of changes. Railcraft has been updated, Tree Capitator has been updated, and also I have now added my mod, or at least the development build of my mod, which is a content pack for Z's farming mod that adds quite a few new things. So I'm just going to start by going through and showing you now. Basically, again, I'm dubbing this because I forgot to turn the microphone on when I was doing my first lot of recording. So what I'm going to do just quickly now is go through and show you the items that I've added in my content pack so that you guys can, I guess, see those. Now, the first thing I've added is a block called the compost ball, and basically it takes 9 saplings, just filling up a crafting table to make the compost ball. Now, you can't mix and match different kinds of saplings, but you can use any kind of sapling. And the compost ball is used with sand dust to make dirt. That's pretty much the whole reason for the compost ball. I'm thinking of some other things that you might be able to use it for in the future, but certainly for right now, all you can use to make is dirt. And a lot of, I guess, what I'm thinking of in using this mod, just looking for shears at the moment. I'm sure I've got some somewhere and I just can't find any. Yeah, so basically I'm looking to try and add almost like renewable items for a bunch of different things. The main reason, I guess, is something like Skyblock. The idea of is you can set up my mod pack, and by just killing mobs and by making a cobblestone generator, you can generate most of the items in the game. And that's kind of what I'm aiming for. So what I'm doing here is I'm getting ready to show you the next item that I've added. And clearly you're going to need some shears to be able to do this. But, spider jockey. I'm just going to run down here and collect some long grass. So, watching out for the creeper. And the broken legs. So I grabbed 4 pieces of long grass then, but I really only needed 3. But I will show you in a minute anyway how this looks and how this works. Oops, spider jockey. Crazy spider jockey. Apparently the jockey doesn't share the spider's ability to drop from great heights and be seemingly unhurt. So, zombies. Stay clear of the zombies. So something that's been, I guess, a bit of an annoyance for me for quite a while is that the only way you can craft grass blocks is to have an existing grass block and get it to spread, or to have like a silk touch pickaxe. So I've created this item called a grass turf with 3 long grass and a piece of dirt, and basically what it allows you to do is basically using the long grass and making turf. You can then turf, not compost ball. This is just my showing you the textures that I've made. Now, I'm not a great artist, but I'm just kind of demonstrating here that they look different enough that you can tell them apart just by looking at them. Just ignore the little white flecks that's on that turf. That's just an error with my transparencies. But yeah, you put the turf on top of a dirt block and you get a grass block. So I'm just heading down looking for some dirt. Clearly the dirt floor that I had upstairs would have been perfect, but like I said, I just want to seed some grass down here so that maybe I can make an underground, don't even know what you'd call it, an underground pasture, something where you can raise some sheep or something like that. So the next thing I'm planning on doing is showing you some of the different blocks that I've added. In fact, I've added two new blocks to the mod. I'm just going to keep calling it a mod because calling it the content pack is just too hard. So sand dust and nether dust are the two items that I have added that need these new machines. So the first machine is called a pounder, and that's it there. So it's made with an iron hammer surrounded by cobble, and that's a new item that I've added as well, which uses 3 iron and a stick. I know in my pack it doesn't clash with anything that's in my pack. I'm not 100% sure if that recipe will clash with anything from any other packs. I had a quick look and I don't think that it should, but just in case it does, it's pretty easy to change the recipe and those kind of things. But I'll demonstrate, I thought anyway, how to make it, and in a little while I'll show you how it's used. So that's a pounder. And the next thing I'm going to do, looking for some planks, is make the next machine, which is called a sifter. So it basically starts with, you need some wooden bowls. You only need 1 for the recipe, and then you need 3 string, and 3 string above a bowl gives you a sieve. And then you use the cobblestone around the outside again to make a sifter. And so again, I've kind of tried to set these machines up so they're not just boring machines that take charcoal like vanilla machines. So that's why I'm grabbing a bunch of smooth stone here, because the pounder is fueled by smooth stone. I guess the kind of idea that I was going for is that's kind of the surface that you put things on and you smash them with. So I wanted to use something that's a renewable resource for the fuel, rather than something along the lines of maybe needing an iron block or something to act as the fuel, or hammers, which again, not a renewable resource. And you can see that I made a bunch of other sieves because the sifter requires sieves as fuel. Now there's a bit of a texture bug here where you can see the fire is not coming out on the correct side. It should be coming out on the other side, and that is a bug that I only just found out about. Apparently if you just break it with your fist, it disappears. So I'm not 100% sure why that is. So yeah, that one disappears as well. So I'm going to have to, I think the problem is I've got them set so they need a pick to break, to drop, sorry, they need a pick to drop, but I've got them set to hardness 0 so you can break them with your fist much too easy. So I think I'm going to have to try and update that before I actually release. I should have said right at the start that this is the dev build of the Astocky Pack. I haven't actually released this yet, but then again you can see that there's some texture related issues there. And if I break them again and spawn them back in and place them like this, you can see that then the fire appears correctly, but it doesn't orient the face towards you in the way that it should. So yeah, not 100% sure what causes that. Oh, excuse me. But anyway, we'll bring the machines up. So again, I place it there, and it still seems to be orienting the flames along the side of the wall, but at least the textures kind of look right now. So we'll leave them there and we'll deal with that. See that I've totally ran a coal in both of those, so I'm just going to turn them off. So now I'm going to show you the next item, which is an item called a cobble mix, and basically it's just 9 cobblestone together. And this particular item is used in the sifter. Again, you put it in and it's fueled by putting a sieve in the bottom, and basically the machine uses that sieve you've just put in to sift through all the cobblestone to give you the output. And again, I guess the idea in my head is that, you know, you're sifting through the cobblestone to find kind of chunks of gravel, or at least find enough gravel to make up a block of gravel. So it's a 9:1 ratio like that, and then you can put the gravel back in and turn gravel directly into flint, so you don't have to kind of throw it down and break it. Bit of a useless recipe, but I thought sometimes there might be a time when you really want flint straight away without having to break lots and lots of it. And that's just kind of a quick way there. It gives you a 100% drop rate, so that's kind of good. Now the next item that I'm going to show you is going to take 9 gravel, so I'm just going to come up here and grab some gravel. And again, you take the gravel, you do the same thing with it, like that. And so, I mean, it's almost it is a texture copy from regular gravel, but I've made it into like an item, so you can't place it on the ground like I just demonstrated there, but you clearly didn't hear me clicking. And then you place that item with a sieve, and it turns it into iron flecks. And basically what iron flecks are is they're kind of the I guess little traces of iron that you'd find in iron ore, but they're a lot less. So basically once you have 9 of them, which means you've used 81 gravel, you can make an iron clump. And the iron clump you can smelt into an iron ingot. So it kind of gives you a way of getting yourself to the point where, let's say you're playing something again a bit like Skyblock, and you might not have any iron, you might not have any of the materials that you really want, so it allows you to kind of just to get some of those things that would otherwise not be renewable. Now again, you can get like gold nuggets dropped from zombie pigmen, but there's no way really to get iron, so I thought this would add a good way to do that, again, to make it just a bit more renewable. So then onto my pounder, which is the next machine, and basically this machine you put either sand or at the moment netherrack in the top. They're the only two things that it actually works with, and you can see on the top of them they've got that different kind of look to them. The pounder is the one that has the hammer on top because that's what you use to create it, but again it's fueled by smooth stone because I wanted it to be a renewable system, and it turns your sand into sand dust. And making another piece of sand now. Ta-da! So just wanted to, I guess, show you that by mixing the compost ball and the sand dust that I've just made, so that's just saplings and sand, you can make dirt. And coming back over here, waiting. Come on. There we go. So we have our netherrack now on the top, and we'll put our stone down the bottom, and we crush up our netherrack, and we're going to get nether dust. So now demonstrate the uses of nether dust. It only has one use at the moment. Oh no, two uses, sorry. The first is you can use it to make nether coal by mixing it with coal or charcoal and blaze powder. And then the next thing you can do is you can use it to make soul sand. Now it's not a strictly renewable resource because, I mean, clearly you need to get the netherrack to start with, but if you can get to the nether, you can get so much netherrack it just doesn't matter. So you kind of infuse the rotten dead zombies to get their essence, and that makes the soul sand. Again, realistically it's easier to just go and get the soul sand. Same with gravel, it's easier to just go and collect the gravel than it is to make the cobblestone up into it, but I've just kind of added these for those times when maybe you can't. Now again, the way the nether coal works is if you put a blaze rod, you get blaze powder, and then you put your coal or charcoal in the center, and you put that around there, and that gets you nether coal. Beautiful little texture I've just made there. Now the way coal works is coal has a burn value of 1600 in Minecraft, and that's pretty much straight what Railcraft reads off when it gives you the values at the bottom. But yeah, so your coal and your charcoal have a value of 1600, and basically, you know, that you can see that says 7000, that says 1.6 or 1600, and basically 1600 gives you 120 seconds of burn time. So the numbers are a bit odd, but this gives you 7000, so it gives you quite a fair bit more burn time. And I actually did the calculation so that if you burn a blaze rod, you get 50% more burn time than you would get from using a piece of coal. So 2 lots of blaze rods, which would be 300%, plus the 1 lot of coal, so that'd be 400%, and that's pretty much what I've made the nether coal to be. So you're not really gaining anything by using it, and it's quite a pain in the backside to create, but sometimes when you just want something that you can kind of throw a stack of fuel in and just walk away and know that it's going to run for a long time, that's pretty much what that machine is aimed at doing. Sorry, not that machine, that's pretty much what nether coal is aimed at. Again, it's a pain to create, and it doesn't really get you any advantage except the fact that, you know, a stack of it would just burn for such a long time. Okay, so now onto the last, just having a quick look now. Just want to make sure that I haven't missed any of the things that my mod has created. So we've got the sifter, the pounder, the sieve, the cobble mix, the gravel mix, the iron flex, the clump, the two kinds of dust, the turf, the hammer, the compost ball, and the nether coal. So there's just one more thing that I've missed. I'm just going to throw the iron flex away for now. And basically the last thing that I've missed is a new recipe that I've added that I totally forgot to mention, and should be mentioning it any second now. The recipe for clay. Because like I said, I added the recipe for salt sand. Now here I have the recipe for clay. So you mix the sand dust with dirt and you get 8 balls of clay. So you're really losing out a lot if you do it that way. But sometimes, you know, again, if you're doing something like a skyblock challenge where you don't really have any clay, but you want to get started with a mod like Red Power, well, you absolutely need to have clay. So that will kind of let you do that thing. So now I'm going to, hopefully, if I can remember this right, because it was a while ago that I recorded this video before I realized it had no sound. Actually, it's going to take me a little while to get to it, because right now I'm trying to point to where I got all that clay, because yeah, just by going out to a river, it's really easy to get, you know, like 100 balls of clay, because I think that's what I got from that little area at the front. And you know, making one clay is comparatively difficult. So now I am going to do something. I'm not totally sure what it is. Come on. I know the things I did in this episode, I just don't know the order that I did them in. So I'm just going to have to wait a few more seconds. Come on. Doing it, doing it, doing it. It's kind of odd because I know I had a big talky spiel there. Train tracks. So yes, okay. I guess you guys saw from the last video that I made that cool train track that kind of went all the way across to where my little house was, and I'm going to make it daytime because I'm planning on heading outside and showing some stuff. Got 34 levels though, so I think it might be a good time to use some of those levels. So I'm going to hopefully burn up 30 of them. Just trying to find where my corrupted sword and stuff is. Okay, so there's my corrupted sword, but I've got none of the corrupted essence. I haven't got any there either. So yeah, that's my Soul Stealer 5 sword that I had to use a book for, which was was a bit of a pain in the backside because then I need all the extra levels to transfer it over. So I think what I'm going to do this time is just grab some soul sand, which I'm going to need to cook up to make the vile dust. So we'll throw that in there and cook it up. So yeah, definitely getting plenty of power from here. The batteries aren't even dropping off even when I cook sort of most of the night, so that's good. So there's the vile dust. And we need 2 glowstone to turn that vile dust into corrupted essence. And then, because I want to make myself a vile sword, I'm going to need 2 gold ingots. I've got stacks of gold, so that's not going to be a problem. I'm going to need a stick to make the hilt of it. And typically, as I always do, I've gone too far. So I'll throw the gold ingots in, throw the corrupted essence in, and it's about this point where I realise that you can cook 8 things from 1 piece of corrupted essence, so I kind of did a little bit of overkill making 2. I guess this gives me a bit of a chance to talk about my mod. I'm looking at adding additional recipes for things, things like another recipe for redstone and for glowstone dust, and a bunch of other different things like that. I'd be really interested in knowing what you guys think about it, because I want a recipe that is it's going to be more convenient basically to go to the nether and get glowstone than to craft it. That's the kind of recipe that I want to aim for. And same with redstone. I want to make it so that it would be just more convenient to go and get your own redstone than to actually do it. So remember last time I got a level 5 from using a book? So see, this time by actually putting it in, I only got a level 4. So the enchantment isn't as high, but I've got a second enchantment. So kind of a trade-off there depending on what you want. Whether you want to go for the really high level with one thing, or whether you want to go for a lower level of two things. I was kind of counting on the fact that it was going to work like this, because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create up 2 scrolls. The first is Scroll of Lucky, which I'm going to put in my research table and turn into the Scroll of Soul Stealer that I'm going to use. And the second one is the Iron, and I'm pretty sure that Scroll of Iron is going to turn into like an Unbreaking. It's kind of what I'm counting on. So better make it a Soul Stealer first. There we go, beautiful. And now we'll throw the sword in. So for some reason it detects that the sword's made out of iron, which is kind of cool. Okay, so there you go, Soul Stealer 4 and Unbreaking 2. So what that potentially means is using an iron sword with a level 4 slot on it, I could create iron dust, which I could use to repair this sword now. So I think that's probably going to be a pretty good option for me in the future. So I've got that blaze shard, and I think I'm definitely going to, at some stage soon, want to capture some more souls and make some mob spawners, probably for things like skeletons as well. So I've got a renewable source of bone meal. I'm going to grab those. I'm going to grab my blaze shard, and in the next episode I'm going to head off to the nether, because before I head off to the nether, I want to get started on a bit of a building project. Now, I tried this on the server the other day and it worked. If you just type time, it actually tells you what the time is, rather than just saying, you need to change the time. So hopefully I can off camera work this out. I know I made a clock. I'm sure I made a clock. But checking all that I might, I can't find a clock anywhere. So that's not actually all that good. Having said that, of course, looking back with hindsight, I think I might have made the clock when I was doing my multiplayer world. But what I'm doing right now is just checking around to see if I can find any inventories, because I'm sure, I'm still thinking that I put it somewhere and I've forgotten where I put it. Did I put it in my house? Did I make a clock in my house? I still really don't know for sure. All I know is that, search as much as I try, it hasn't turned up. And you see that nether coal's burned for quite a long time. It hasn't filled the relay, because the relay has done its job and it's put lots and lots and lots of it in the bottom there. So again, I'm going to turn that off because I don't like the noise. Yeah, still no clock. Have a look down here. It's clearly not in my bedroom, because that would be a silly place for a clock unless it was on the wall. Down we go again. So now, just to kind of try and sneak it in there to be smarter than Minecraft, I thought maybe if I dart down a little bit and then quickly run back upstairs, I might have a look in those chests, because otherwise pretty much what's going to happen is that I'm going to end up not seeing it, and you guys were going to see it, and then you were going to laugh at me. what I'm just doing now is just checking to make sure that it hasn't ended up in one of my corner blocks, but I don't think that it would have. In fact, I'm almost 100% sure that it's not going to, but sometimes it's when you're the most sure that you're wrong, and that's when you need to check things out. So, giving up, I decided to just do it the old-fashioned way and just try and look at the sun. So it's clearly afternoon because I can't see the sun from there. So, looking at the sun, I saw that it's kind of evening time. So now I'm trying to make a decision. It's going to be a tough decision. Do I go to the nether and kill some blazes, or do I want to do something else? And I've decided something else. And the main reason I've decided something else is that it's going to take a long time to really do what I want to do in the nether, and I'm already at about the half-hour mark. So what I'm going to do now is cook up some stone so that I can make some stone bricks, because I have a grand plan for some fantastic stuff to do. I know I built that house over there, and that's a pretty cool house, and I'm very happy with that house, but I know I can do better than that. So I also only have this little bit of railway that comes here, so what I'm thinking of doing is going back out the other side, where this nice big plain is behind me that I haven't really explored, and gonna build some kind of great whopping mansion out here. I mean, I've got that really nice greatwood tree. I turn around, I've got the view of the waterfall, I've got the view of the windmill. So I'm thinking, yeah, this is going to be a good kind of area to build something. Looking for something nice and flat. Definitely don't want to get too far away that I can't see things, but I don't want to be too close either that it's kind of boring. And so many unexplored caves. Oh, and that goes way down too. Yeah, so much stuff that I want to do, and I don't want to build my house directly on top of a cave, so that's not going to be the best spot for it. Maybe down here a little bit. Have a look around. Maybe near Cow Rock. Okay, so I'm kind of losing the side of the windmill there in the waterfall, which is, again, not exactly what I wanted to do. Nah. Set the render distance to full. Sorry, not full. Far. Wait for it to spawn the chunks back in. Okay, that's definitely a good distance. That's something that you can see from, and I'm also probably not too far away that I can't run the mine cart track, or at least the train track all the way over there. So this is going to be a good area. What I'm thinking is I'm thinking a nice house that's a big house, massive kind of place, lots of rooms. Like I'm thinking an internal sort of garden. Thinking a big basement kind of area. Thinking of having it take up pretty much this whole area here. Make it nice and big, like all the way from that cave over there, all the way over that edge there. And then 3 or 4 stories high inside. Nice and wide, maybe a big kind of U shape with a bit of a courtyard behind it. Just going to go up, and I want the house to be visible from my castle, or at least my fortress as well, so hopefully I can check that out, kind of work out some rough dimensions just by looking at how big I want things to be. And I'm thinking I'll probably get an idea of the floor plan I want off camera, and maybe lay just the foundation for it, and then come back on camera, and I might even do a speed build. I think I'll have to have a bit of a look and see how that works, but I might even do a speed build on camera to kind of show you guys how I think it should look anyway. So coming up here, embarrassed because I'm about to show my parkour fail skills again and again. And there's gonna be more, so don't worry. Just keep watching. Even if you blink, you're not missing anything, because I'm bound to fall off some more stuff. Yeah, look at that. Fail. The solution to all parkour fails? Shovel. I'm thinking I want to enchant a shovel too. I've seen a bunch of videos of just showing how crazy it is when you get the diamond drill from industrial craft and you just kind of hack into sand and stuff. So I want to get like an efficiency 5 shovel and then just obliterate all of the... So yeah, getting there, not quite ready for another stacking yet. I'll cook up a heap of that off camera as well while I'm working out the foundation. But basically I'm thinking around that area there, probably that wide to the edge of the tree clearing, and all the way over to where the cave is. So I'm talking big. I'm not talking little. I'm talking probably it's going to be as big as this fortress, but then 3 stories high and all above ground. Nothing built underground except for the basement. And the basement's going to have like some tunnels and things, and I'm thinking of having a tunnel that comes all the way over here to my fortress, but I'll have to have a look at how that goes anyway. And yeah, like I said, definitely going to have a mine cart that's going to run right to the front of it, so I can, without having to worry too much about anything, just jump in my little train, go from that house, which is going to be my holiday house, my holiday house, back to my mansion, that kind of stuff. So thanks very much for watching. Astocky out.